You guys remember just a few months ago when Los Ratones were in the quarterfinals of EMEA Masters, down 2 games to 1. They win game 4, and they go pick Kindred Zillion in game 5 and come back to beat the number 1 Turkish team, which at the time was supermassive. Today, they did the exact same thing. The Rats were down 2 games to 1 against Boostgate Esports, this time the number 1 Turkish team. And game 4, they won kind of in the same fashion, pretty solid, not really a comeback, but a very closely contested game. And in game 5, again on blue side, again against the number 1 Turkish team, they draft Kindred Zillion, and they absolutely pop off. With a better scaling team comp, they went closely contested, pretty much even in the early game. Kindred, Velia on the Kindred going absolutely crazy. Everyone played very, very well this game, and you could just feel it. Listening to the team talk in the game, watching them play, with the confidence, the swagger, after that game 4 win, it just felt inevitable that they were supposed to win game 5. And this is really interesting because Los Ratones, after winning EMEA Masters in the winter split, came into this set in the spring with very high expectations. They were power ranked number 2, and a lot of people were expecting them to go very deep in the tournament, possibly even win it. And I gotta tell you, after they won NLC in Copenhagen, they came back, they scrimmed Nord, got blasted 3-0 in those scrims, and then they got blasted by Barcelona 0-2, and it just seemed like they were done. It seemed like they were absolutely cooked mentally, and I think that Barcelona loss just really broke them. They came in with such high expectations they were supposed to win, and after that loss, they seemed broken. Everything was going horribly. They were losing every scrim game, and they just seemed done mentally. But they worked their way back up. And the turnaround wasn't overnight like the crash was. They had to work their way back up and figure out how they wanted to play the game again and recover mentally from burnouts. After that boot camp in Copenhagen, playing NLC finals, and just 2 days later starting EMEA Masters, it felt like after that Barcelona series that they just weren't going to go anywhere, that they were going to probably crash out in the round of 16. But here we are. They drew Nord again in round of 16, took care of them 3-0 as Nord just seemingly has a huge mental block against this team. And here we are again today, them facing the number 1 Turkish team in an absolute banger best of 5. And I gotta tell you, even in game 1 of this series, they got absolutely slaughtered. Their draft was horrible. Their communication was horrible. Everyone just seemed asleep, like they didn't even want to be there. No one was engaged. No one was communicating well. After game 1, I thought there was a chance that they would just get absolutely annihilated 3-0. But then game 2 came around, and it was the Rats that we see pretty consistently. Solid win out of them. And then game 3 comes about, and they get smashed again. And then game 4, it just seems like this team has a comfort zone down 2 games to 1. Maybe it's just against the Turkish teams. We'll have to find out. But down 2 games to 1, they scale up with Crowney on Zeri and Baus on Jax. They won one dragon fight with Baus getting a triple kill. And from there, it just flipped a switch. They just seemed to wake up after that. It took them 3.5 games to wake up. But after that one dragon fight, they just became a different team. And I gotta speak to that as someone who has competed in these, not this high stakes of environment, but competitively. It if you get that one play, if you get that one fight, it can change everything. And that's what happened. They ended up winning in game 4 in a pretty decisive comeback. And in game 5, they just cooked in the draft, and it just seemed inevitable that they were going to win. With Velia on a carry jungler like the Kindred, where he really has agency in the game and matching the scaling with the rest of the team. Look at this team. You have double ADC with double Enchanter, if you consider Zillion an Enchanter. It's just very, very strong, especially against Nico, Silas, Sejuani, who all have to run into you. The Milio was also a fantastic pick here into Sejuani and Nico. So the Game 5 draft was absolutely winning for the Rats, and their play was just very decisive, very coordinated, and it, like I said, it just seemed inevitable that they were supposed to win. And so in last EMEA Masters in winter, they won that series against Supermassive, and they went on to absolutely smoke the rest of the bracket, winning 3-0 and 3-0, I believe, in the semifinals and finals both. So the question is this split, is this EMEA Masters going to be the same? Is this going to be a 3-0 in semifinals, a 3-0 in finals? Are they going to lose? Are they going to win in a closely contested series? It's going to be very, very exciting to see. They're going to be playing BK Rog. I don't know what region they're from, but I know they're very, very solid as a team. So this whole EMEA Masters has been absolutely stacked, and it's very telling of how good this team actually is to not only recover from a horrid 2 weeks like they have, but to be beating out really, really strong teams from across different regions is very impressive. And I'm really excited to see them play in just a few days here in the semifinals and see if they can really prove that once again they are the best team outside of LEC. So let me know what you guys thought of the comeback here today against BGT. Absolute banger 5 game series. Again, coming back down 2 games to 1, drafting Zillion Kindred in game 5. The script writers wouldn't have it any other way. It seems like LR are writing the scripts themselves at this point. This was one of the most exciting series I've watched in a long time as a League fan. I can't tell you how non excited I am for any other pro game, but the Los Ratones have made competitive League exciting again, and I really, really hope they continue to do this in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.